class, right? Right. Uh, Let me go and open the class notes. First, go and open the class notes. And let me give a quick recap what we discussed in the yesterday's class. So, first of all, right now we are discussing about these 4 introduction classes. Uh, among those 4 introduction classes, already we done with class 1 and class 2. So in the class 1, we discussed introduction to Power Platform, and class 2 is for what? Introduction to Power Apps. So let me go and give a quick recap what we discussed in the class 2, right? So in the class 2, first we started discussing about SharePoint, guys. So we know that SharePoint is what software? It is a data source software, which is used for what? To store and manage the organizational business data in the form of what? List. List is nothing but a table. And also we can store some kind of business data in the form of files like Word, Excel, or CSV files we can store. So this what is the definition of SharePoint. And then next we understand what is about data sources. Already we know what is meant by data sources. And next we understand how to open the SharePoint. To open the SharePoint, first of all, you need to go to a Microsoft 365. So to log into the Microsoft, you need to go and use this web URL, m365.cloud.microsoft. So let me go and open the SharePoint, guys. Let me show you what is the list we created in yesterday's class within the SharePoint, m365.cloud.microsoft. Let me go with this license. I'm going with this license with one of the user. As I mentioned, here you need to have the Microsoft or the that is developer account, which is a E5 license, right? So you need to have this license, guys. So this is the license I'm using here. And click on next. And then enter the password. Click on sign in. Now once soft log into the Microsoft 365 to open the SharePoint, you'll go to where? Search tab. And then go and search for what? SharePoint. So when we go and search for SharePoint, you can see the SharePoint connection application. Just select it. When I select this, it will go and open the SharePoint. And within the SharePoint, we discussed about how to create a site. So whatever the site we created, how we can view it. So just go to the option called sites. Go to where? Site. So here we can see the sites which we created, guys. So already we created one site in the yesterday's class. What's that site name? Patch 158 9 a.m. Just go to that site, select the site. And in this site, we created one list. What's that list? Students. Let me select the list called students. And this is the list we created in the yesterday's class. So once after understanding how to create a list in the SharePoint, next we discussed about what? Next we discussed about Power Apps. So how to create an app in the Power Apps. So we know that Power Apps is used for what, guys? So this is what the complete definition of Power Apps. So what the Power Apps can do? As we know that Power Apps is used to create the apps or the forms, which is used for what? To collect some data from the customers. Once after collecting the data, next we'll do what? We'll submit the data to the data sources. Once after submitting the data, next we'll display that same data again in the Power Apps. We'll display the data in the Power Apps, which is stored in the data sources. And then once after displaying the data, next we'll do what? We'll go and work with the data. This is what the definition. And this definition I explained in yesterday's class practically, guys. Practically, we discussed about how to create an app. We understand how we'll enter the data and how we'll store the data in the source and how to display the data again in the Power Apps. And also I discussed how to work with the data. So let me go and open the Power Apps now. To open the Power Apps, again, go to where? M365. Or directly to open the Power Apps, you can use this URL also. For now, let me go to the Microsoft 365. Go to the search bar and then go and search for what? Power Apps. Let me select Power Apps now. When I select Power Apps, now it will go and open the Power Apps soft. Even though I'm opening the Power Apps from the Microsoft 365, if you see it is using, what is the URL it is using? make.powerapps.com, right? Fine, okay. Now once after opening the Power Apps, as we know that, first of all, you need to go and connect to what? Environment. First connect to the environment. Go to the environment, patch 159. So, right, let me go to this environment. This is the environment we use in yesterday's class. to create an app. In this environment, we created one app. So to create the app, we need to go to which tab? Create tab. From here, you can create the apps. But where we can see the app which we create in the yesterday's class. We create one app already, right? So where we can see the tab means go to the tab called apps tab. So when I go to the tab called apps, you can see the app here, which we created in the yesterday's class. This is the app, right? AB Trainings Batch 158. Now let me go and open the tab now. Click on this app. When I select the app name, now it will go and open the tab, guys. Let it open. Right? Fine. And now, once after opening the app, so let what we discussed in yesterday's class, these are the different screens we added. So in the screen one, when I click on get started, it will go to where? Screen two, where we can enter the data. So let me go and enter some values here, guys. Let's take I'm entering the name is equals to Finch. I think Finch record already is there. Yes, it is there. Let me enter another record. Smith. Let me enter the mail ID. So we discussed about how to enter the data. And then let me go and take the course. Let me take the course. What the course we'll have here. Let me go and take the course as Power BI and education background as BTech. Now click on submit. When I click on submit, it will submit the data and then go to the success screen. If I go and check the data in the SharePoint, yes, the record is created. You can see that record is created. And also we discussed about how to show that same data again in the Power Apps, where we shown that data in the screen called gallery. If I go to the screen, so which record I submitted just now? Smith. So whatever the data is there in the SharePoint, that data automatically it will comes into the Power Apps here. And once after showing the data in the Power Apps, next we discussed about what? Working with the data. So we discussed about one of the example, how to delete. Whenever if you go and click on this icon, delete icon, it will remove the data in the SharePoint list, right? Up to here we discussed, guys. To here, we discussed in the yesterday's class, right? So now, so today's class is a continuation of yesterday's class, guys. So what is the agenda for today's class is? Whenever the employee click on submit button, whenever the employee click on what? Submit button, what happens? Whatever the data is there in this form, this data comes into where? Data sources, SharePoint. The data comes into where? SharePoint. So now whenever the new student record is created in the SharePoint, Smith records just now we created. Whenever the new student record is created in the SharePoint, immediately within a fraction of seconds, I want to send one email to that student automatically. Once the when I want to send the email now to the students, once the student data comes into the SharePoint list, when the data comes into the SharePoint list, whenever we click on the submit button, when I click on submit button, the data comes into the SharePoint. Whenever the new student record is inserted into the SharePoint list, immediately within the fraction of seconds, by taking that student email as a reference, I want to go and send one automated email to that student regarding what? Regarding the course he is inquiring. For which course the student is inquired, that course, regarding that course, I want to send one automated email to the student. That's what my requirement, right? Fine, okay. Now, to achieve this requirement, we'll go and use which software now in today's class? We are going to use what? Power Automate, right? So now, let me discuss about what is Power Automate. So first, let me give some introduction to Power Automate, and then I will show you how to achieve our requirement. Let me go and keep here. Today is class 3. Today is class 3. Today is class 3. Right. So in today's class, we'll discuss about introduction to Power Automate. Now, before going to start discussing what is Power Automate, let me keep some few points here. So from the last 2 classes, we are trying to implement what? From the last 2 classes, we are trying to implement this 4-step business applications process, correct? Yes. From the last 2 classes, we are trying to implement we are trying to implement the 4-step business applications process. So now in this 4-step business applications process, already we done with what? Already we done with front end, that is creating apps. In yesterday's class we covered. And also we done with what? Data sources. Already we done with these 2 steps. Now in order to go and create the apps, what the software we used? In order to go and create apps, what is the software we used? Power Apps. In order to go and create the apps, the software we used is what? Power Apps. And what is the data source software we used in yesterday's class? Which data source we used? SharePoint. What's the data source software? SharePoint. So these 2 steps are completed. Today we are going to discuss about step 3. That is nothing but what? Automation. So now, in order to go and perform the automations, what the software we are going to use now in today's class? Power Automate. So using Power Automate, how we can send the automated email to the students once the record is created, we'll understand now in today's class. The third step. Today is class 3. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the third step in the business applications process. Right? Okay. So now, let me go and list out all the different points which I'm going to cover now in today's class, guys. Let me list out the different points. The first point we'll understand in today's class is what is Power Automate. We'll understand about what is Power Automate. And the second point we'll understand about what is meant by automation. And third point we'll understand about how to perform the automations using Power Automate. How to perform what? Automations using Power Automate software. And one more point we'll understand, that is who will use a Power Automate software. Who will use what? Power Automate software. So these are the points we are going to discuss now in today's class, guys. I'm listing out the different points we are going to cover, right? So now among all those different points, first let me go and discuss about who will use Power Automate software. Who will use the Power Automate software? Already we know, guys, in the class 1, we discussed about who will use Power Automate. Let me mention those points here. So as we know, who will use Power Automate? As we know that if there is any company, the companies will do what? We know that the companies will do what? They'll do some business. They'll do what? They'll do some business. Right. And now let's take well-known companies for us, guys. Example, let's take Amazon. We are taking these companies as a reference. Amazon, where they're doing what business? E-commerce business. And we are taking an example of ICICI, where they're doing some banking business. And let's take an example of Swiggy, where they're doing some food business, right? So like this, if you take any company, whatever the companies, they will do what? They'll do some business. Now, as we know that if the company is doing some business, then must and should the companies will have what? Companies will have some repeated work process. Companies will have what? They'll have some repeated work process. Every company, guys, if you take Amazon, ICICI, or Swiggy, Zomato, or any company, if you take, the companies they'll have some work process will be there. Now, if you want to do this work process with the help of humans, no, it is not possible, guys. So first of all, let me give an example. What is meant by work process, guys? So we are taking an example of Swiggy in the last few classes. So let's take the Swiggy company as a reference here. Now, as Swiggy company is doing some food business, now, how many customers will place the orders in the Swiggy app for one day in India, complete in India? Let's take some average number, guys. We are taking an example of 50,000 orders are placed. 50,000 orders or 50,000 customers, anyone is fine. Let us assume that 50,000 customers are placing the orders, right? So whenever the customer places an order, if you observe in not only here, guys, even if you take Amazon, Flipkart, eBay. So if you place an order in Amazon, they'll send one confirmation email to you or not regarding that order. The order is placed successfully. So here also, let's say Swiggy company need to send one confirmation email to the user once the order is placed successfully. So they need, once the order is placed, Swiggy company need to send one email to that customer that your order is placed successfully. And next it need to send one confirmation email to the restaurant, which restaurant is preparing the food. it need to go and send one confirmation email to the restaurants also, right? And next, it will send another email to the customer once the order is delivered successfully. Once the order is delivered successfully, it will send another one more email to the customer. Now, in this scenario, how many mails they need to send here per day? They need to send 1.5 lakh emails per day. 1.5 lakh emails per day. And now, it is possible to send 1.5 lakh emails per day with the help of humans. We are able to send them 1.5 lakh emails per day with the help of humans. Humans are able to do this work. No, it is not easy, guys. Sending 1.5 lakh emails per day with the help of humans manually, it is not an easy task. But let us assume, Swiggy company decided to do this work with the help of humans. So they are hiring some thousands of employees. Let's take an example of they're hiring some 30,000 employees, 30,000 employees they're hiring just to send the emails. Now, maybe as they have 30,000 employees, maybe these 30,000 employees, they can send 1.5 lakh mails per day. Maybe they can achieve it. But now try to understand the next point here. When the Swiggy company will send the email to the customers and to the restaurants, when it will send, once the order is placed in the app, immediately within the fraction of seconds, Swiggy company will send that email, guys. So it doesn't take much time, guys. It doesn't take much time. So hardly it will take 4 to 5 seconds, guys, not more than that. Less than 4 to 5 seconds. So now tell me, even though you have 30,000 employees, even though you have this much of employees, they can send the email to the customers and to the restaurants within 4 to 5 seconds once the order is placed in the app. No, it is not possible, guys. So even though you have 30,000 employees, sending the email to the customers and to the restaurants once the order is placed in a fraction of seconds, it is not possible. Why? Because manually you need to understand the what order the customer is placed, who is the customer, which order the customer is placed, understanding the orders data, and composing the email and sending that email to the customer. Manually, if you want to do all this work within 4 to 5 seconds, means no, it is not possible, guys. So like this, every company will have some work process, guys. This is one of the repeated work process for Swiggy company. Not only this, guys, if there is a company, means they'll have n number of work process will be there. They'll have n number of work process will be there. This is one of the work process which we know as a customers. So if you want to do this kind of work, if you want to do this kind of repeated work process with the help of humans, no, humans are not able to do it, guys. So as it is not able to do with the help of humans, so companies are doing this work with the help of what? Systems. If you are doing some work with the help of systems, then we'll call it as what? Automation. So now whatever the repeated work process will have, now I want to do this work automatically. I want to automate it. So let me go and keep here. Whatever the repeated work process will have, we are going to automate the work. So automating the work means doing the work automatically with the help of some softwares or the systems. Now, what's that software we are using? In order to go and automate the work process, in order to go and automate the repeated work process, what the software the companies are using? What the software the companies are using? Which software? They're using the Power Automate. So let me go and keep here, guys. So now here we understand who will use Power Automate. Who will use Power Automate? As we come to know, if there is any company, if the company is doing some business, then the companies will have some repeated work process. If you want to do this work process with the help of humans, no, it is not possible to do this with the help of humans. So companies wants to automate that work process. To automate that process, we need to have a software. What's that software? Power Automate. So we understand who will use Power Automate, guys. Power Automate is used by the companies. And what is the use of Power Automate software? Power Automate is used for what now? It is used to automate the work. What you are going to automate? Repeated work process. Where you are going to automate the repeated work process? Within the business. Whatever the business you are doing within the business, to automate this repeated work process, we'll go and use one automation software. What is that? Power Automate. Right. So let me go and mention that point here. Yes. Let me go and mention that point here. As we come to know that, so nowadays companies using Power Automate software Power Automate software to automate the repeated work process. To automate what? The repeated work process, right? Fine. Okay. Right. And next from here, we need to understand about what is Power Automate. We need to understand about what is Power Automate. Next, what is meant by automation. And then finally, how to perform the automations with the help of Power Automate. These 3 points we need to understand. So first, let me go and discuss about what is Power Automate. Now try to understand. Already we know in the class 1, if I go to the class 1, let me go to the class 1, guys. Let me go to where? Class 1. If I go to the class 1, in the class 1 already we discussed it. So if to perform the automations, we'll go and use which software? Power Automate. So what is Power Automate? I said that Power Automate is an automation software which is used to automate the repeated work process, right? You can keep the same definition. There is nothing wrong in that, but I'll go and add few more points to that. Let me keep here. What's the definition of Power Automate is? Power Automate is an automation software. Power Automate is an automation software within the Power Platform. Within the Power Platform, which is used to automate the repeated work process in the organizations. Which is used to automate the repeated work process in the organizations, right? Fine. So this is about what's meant by Power Automate, which we know already. It is an automation software within the Power Platform, which is used to automate the repeated work process in the organizations, right? Okay. And next, what's meant by automation now? So already we discussed, guys. What's meant by automation? Again, if I go to the class 1, in the class 1, when I'm discussing about the business applications process, in the class 1, when I'm discussing about this business applications process, here discussed about what is automation. I said that what's meant by automation? Automation is nothing but doing certain repeated work automatically without any human interactions, guys. If you're doing some work automatically without any human interactions, then we'll call it as what? Automation, right? Fine. Okay. And next we need to understand how to perform the automations, with the help of Power Automate. I want to do some automations using Power Automate software. How to perform the automations with the help of Power. So now here in Power Automate, there are different types of automations we can do. Okay. So what are the different types of automations? Let me keep here. The types of automations. We can do the different types of automations. Now, what are the different types of automations we can do? There are 3 types, guys. What are those? The first one is automated. First one is what? Automated cloud flows. And the second one is scheduled cloud flows. Scheduled cloud flows. And third one is instant cloud flows, right? These are the 3 different types of automations we can do. Now, let me go and discuss about what is meant by automated cloud flow, what's meant by scheduled cloud flows, and what's meant by instant cloud flows, and when to go and use what. So first, let me discuss about automated cloud flows, guys. Now, what is the use of this automated cloud flows? When to use them? Let me keep here. What is the use of this automated cloud flows means? These flows are, or let me keep here, these are used to, what is the use of this? These are used to automate the repeated work process, guys. Repeated work process. It is used to automate the repeated work process. But when, okay, we know all these three are used to automate the work process only. When to use? So it is used to automate the repeated work process based on the event happened in the data sources. When to go and use it means whenever there is something is happened in the data sources, automate the workflows when an event is happened. Event is happened in the data sources. That means when something is happened in the data sources, then only I want to do some automations. Guys, now try to understand. I want to go and do some automations only when something is happened in the data sources. Data sources means what? Let's take SharePoint, Dataverse, SQL, Outlook, Excel. These are all the data sources, guys. So when something is happened in the data sources, then only I want to go and do some sort of automations. So whenever if you want to go and perform some automation, only something is happened in the data sources, then at that time go and use what? Automated cloud flow. And you see, I'm using one word here, event. I said that automated cloud flows are used to automate the work process when an event is activated in the data source. Now, what is meant by an event now? Let me give an example, guys. Let me go to the SharePoint. I'll go and take the SharePoint as a data source here, right? So now, what is an event here is, let's take SharePoint is one of the data source. Now, what is meant by an event is? Event is nothing but inserting the data into the SharePoint list. It is an event, guys. Insert the data into the SharePoint list. It is an event, right? Next, update the data in the SharePoint list. It is an event. Or deleting the data in the SharePoint list. It is an event. These are the examples, guys. Not only this, there are multiple events is there. You'll understand in the coming classes. For now, let's take an example of event is nothing but what? Insert the data in the SharePoint list, or if you update the data, if you delete the data, those are called as events. Let's take our use case. What is the agenda for today's class? Whenever the new student record is inserted into the SharePoint list, then what's my requirement? I want to send one automated email to the student, correct? So now for that use case, we'll go and use the automated cloud flow. We'll use what type of flow? Automated. So why? Because here I want to go and send an email to the student whenever the new student record is inserted. So whenever the new student record is inserted, whenever the new student record is inserted into the SharePoint list, then by taking the student email as a reference, I want to send one automated email to the student regarding the course he is inquiring, right? So this is what's the example of event and what's an example of automated cloud flow. When something is happened in the data sources, then only I want to go and perform some automations. So whenever if you want to go and perform automations, only something is happened in the data sources, then at the time use what? Automated cloud flows. Here I'm taking the data source as what? SharePoint, right? Okay. We understand about automated cloud flow. And next one is what? Scheduled. Now, when these scheduled flows are also used for what? These are also used to automate the workflows only. But when the scheduled flows are used to automate the workflows, guys, let me keep that point here. Let's say, let me keep here. These are used to automate the repeated work process based on the scheduled date and time. Simple. When to go and use, first of all, what is the use of this? These are also used to automate the workflows only. But when it is used to automate the workflows based on the scheduled date and time. Let me give an example, guys. When to go and use the scheduled flows. Let's take there is one company, simple example. Let's take there is one company. If you take any company it is, let's take either Infosys, Wipro, Microsoft, Deloitte, any company if you take. Let's take I'm taking Infosys company here, guys. Let's take Infosys company is there. Now, what Infosys company wants to do here is simple requirement. They want to send the birthday wishes birthday wishes to the employees. When they want to send the birthday wishes? Every day. When they want to send the birthday wishes? Every day. Every day at what time they want to send? Let's take they want to send in the morning. Morning at what time? Let's take in the 6 a.m. Every day in the morning 6 a.m. Every day in the morning 6 a.m. Uh, Infosys company wants to send the birthday wishes to their employees. Which employees? Which employee date of birth is matching with today's date, right? So now this is what the requirement is. Infosys company means there are thousands of employees are working or not. Yes, Infosys means there are thousands of employees will work. And now this employees data, they'll store somewhere in the Excel file or SharePoint or somewhere they are storing the employees data. Now what's my requirement here is every day in the morning 6 a.m. go and check which employees date of birth is matching with today's date. Every day in the morning 6 a.m. go and check which employee date of birth is matching with the today's date. If there is any employee date of birth is matching with the today's date, then I want to send the birthday wishes to those employees, guys. So now, if you want to do this work with the help of humans, no, it is not possible. Why? Because when they want to send the birthday wishes, morning 6 a.m., who will come to the office at morning 6 a.m. just to send the birthday wishes? No one. Even that too, it need to send the emails even on Saturdays, Sundays, even holidays also, right? So every day, whether it is Saturday, Sunday, whether it's a festival, it is not a matter. Every day in the morning 6 a.m., which employee's date of birth is matching with the system date, then go and send the birthday wishes to them. So if you want to achieve this requirement, it is not possible with the help of humans, guys. So now what I need to do? I want to automate. So if you want to automate this process, this work process, then we'll go and use what? Schedule flow. Why? Because here I want to go and send the email to the students based on what? Date and time. What's the date here now? What's the date? Every day. What's the time? 6 a.m. So whenever if you want to go and do some automations based on the date and time intervals, then go and use what? Scheduled flows, right? Fine. And next one is what? Instant. These flows are also used for what, guys? These flows are also used to automate the workflows only. Let me keep here. What is the use of this means? These are also used to automate automate the work process. But when it is used to automate the work process, guys, manually by tapping manually by tapping a button manually by tapping a button. So that means uh, here let's take my requirement. I don't want to automate the work process when something is happening in the data sources. I don't want to do it, or I don't want to automate the work process based on the date and time. Now when I want to automate the work process means whenever it is required for me, whenever it is required, then I will go and click on one button manually, guys. Then I will go and click on one button manually. Whenever I click on one button, then only I want to automate some work process. So whenever if you want to automate the work process manually by tapping some buttons, then at that time go and use what? Instant flows. These instant flows are also called as manual flows, guys. These are also called as what? Manual flows. Why? Because these flows will run manually by tapping a button. That's why we'll call it as manual flows also. So these are the three different types of cloud flows we can create in Power Automate. What are those? Automated, scheduled, and instant. Now, as we know that when to go and use the automated cloud flow, when these flows are used to do the automations, these are used to do some automations when an event is happened in the data sources. That means when something is happened in the data sources, then if you want to go and perform some automations, go and use automated. Next, when to go and use scheduled. Whenever if you want to do some automations based on what? Scheduled date and time, then go and use the scheduled flows. When to go and use instant, whenever if you want to automate the work process manually by tapping some buttons, then at that time go and use what? Instant cloud flows. So these are the different types of flows we can create in the Power Automate. Now let's try to understand. Let me go and open the Power Automate now, and let's try to understand how to create this flows, guys. So now how to open the Power Automate now? Let me keep here how to open what? Power Automate. To open the Power Automate, again, there are two ways. One is you can open it from the m365.cloud.microsoft.com. This is the one way. You can open it from the Microsoft 365. And another one is, if you want to open the Power Automate directly, you can go and use this URL, make.powerautomate.com. Make.powerautomate.com. Right. Okay. Let me open it from the Microsoft 365 today's class, guys. Right. Now let me go to the M365 and let me go to the search bar and then go and search for what? Power Automate. And I search for Power Automate. Now it will show us what? The Power Automate application. Just select it now. Select this. When I select this, now it will go and open what? It will go and open the Power Automate software. Let it open, guys. Right. I'm opening which software here? Power Automate. Now, once after open the Power Automate, here also make sure you need to connect to the environment. Whichever the environment you are using in the Power Apps, the same environment you need to go and use in the Power Automate also. Right. Let me go to Power Automate and select the environment. Select the environment. Right. Once after selecting, connecting to the environment, now I want to create a flow. So to create a flow, let me go to which tab? Create tab. Go to which tab? Create tab. And in the Create tab, you can see the different types of flows, guys. As I said that, what are the different types of flows we can create? One is automated cloud flow. It is what type? Automated. Second one, you can see here, instant cloud flow. As I said that it's a button click. You can see hand raise, button click. And next one is what? Scheduled cloud flows, alarm icon. And next, there is something called describe it to design it. It is using AI. We have the Copilot Studio here as an inbuilt AI tool. We can give some prompt to AI based on your requirement. Automatically Copilot will go and create the flows for you. It is using AI. We'll discuss this one also. We are going to cover this in our classes, guys. Automated, instant, scheduled, and using AI. And next, there is something called desktop flows and process mining. These two comes under the RPA. It doesn't comes under the cloud. It comes under the RPA. What is the meaning of this desktop flows means? So if you are storing your data within your local servers, within your system, then if you want to do some automations in the local systems, then we'll go and use the desktop flows, guys. Right? So desktop flows we are not going to cover here. It is separate. It is not a part of our curriculum. And most of the times nowadays, instead of using desktop flows, companies have started using what? Cloud. Because everything is moving to cloud nowadays, guys. So in near future, there is no concept of desktop, right? Still few companies are using it, but very soon, there is no concept of desktop. Everything will be cloud. So that's why we are going to concentrate more on the cloud flows, guys. Right. So now let's start understanding how to create a flow. So first of all, try to understand the requirement. What is our requirement in Power Apps? Whenever we go and click on the submit button, the data comes into the SharePoint list. Whenever the student record is created in the SharePoint list, immediately which student record you created for that student, I want to send one email regarding the course he is inquiring. This is what my requirement. So to do this work, I want to use now Power Automate. So in Power Automate, I want to create a flow to achieve this requirement. Now to achieve this requirement, someone can answer, what is the type of flow we need to create now? Which type of flow we need to create among those three?
Automated cloud flows. Automated cloud flows.
Correct. So to achieve this requirement, we'll go and use the automated cloud flow. Okay. Let me go and take this now. Let me go and take an automated cloud flow here. Let's just go and select this. And then it is asking us to pass the flow name. Let me pass the flow name as send emails to students. Whatever the name it is, you can keep your own names, guys. Once after passing the flow name, next here, it is asking us to pass what? Choose your flows trigger. Now, what's meant by trigger, guys? So if you see, when I hold the mouse on this here, there is some information icon. When I hold the mouse, what it is telling, that what is meant by trigger now? Trigger is an event. What is meant by trigger? Trigger is an event that starts your cloud flow. You are creating one flow, right? This is the flow you are creating. This is the flow name. Now, when you want to start the flow, now someone can answer, I'm creating one flow. When I need to start the flow? Correct. Whenever the item is created in the SharePoint list. So now that's what my trigger. So anyway, I'll discuss about triggers in the coming classes, guys. Triggers, and there is an option called actions. I'll discuss about what's meant by trigger, what are the different types of triggers we'll have in the coming classes. In a detailed way, I'll cover there. For now, keep in mind, trigger is nothing but it is an event which is used to start the flow. So now when I want to start the flow means whenever the item is created. So let me go and select this option. Whenever the item is created in the SharePoint, then only run this flow, right? Let me select the trigger, and then go and click on create, guys. Just click on what? Create. When I click on create, now it will allows you to go and create a flow. So this is the Power Automate Studio. This is the Power Automate Studio where you can create the flows. And now this is the modern UI, guys. This is the modern UI. So this modern UI, still it is a preview feature. It is a preview feature. It is not live. So in today's, anyway, I'll discuss about this modern UI also in our coming classes. So let me go to the classic UI, guys. To go to classic UI, let me go and turn off this new designer here. When I turn off this new designer, let me click on switch without saving. When I click on the new, when I stop it, when I stop the new designer, this is the classic designer. So now classic designer is the one recommended to use it, guys, because modern, it is not live. It's a preview feature, right? So now, anyway, I'll discuss about both classic and modern UI in our classes, right? So now what is the first step in the flow? It is a trigger. What's the first step in the flow? Trigger. What is the use of trigger? Triggers are used to start the flow. Now, when this flow will start? Whenever the item is created. Where the item is created? In the SharePoint. In the SharePoint, now here, you need to pass the site address and list name. Okay, whenever the item is created in SharePoint, you want run, but you need to specify in which site and what's that list. What's my site name? Batch 158, 9 a.m. Let me go here. Go and select the site name, site address, guys. When I click on this drop down, automatically it will show the site name. This is the site name, batch 158, 9 a.m. And once after passing the site name, next here, when I click on this drop down, it will show the list name automatically. What's that list will have? Students list. Select that list name. So whenever the item is created in this list, the flow will start. Correct? So now, whenever the item is created, now what's my requirement? I want to run the flow. Now what the flow need to do? It need to send an email. To whom? To the students who is inquiring for the course. Regarding what? Regarding the course they are inquiring. So first of all, I want to know for which course the student is inquiring us. It is not the same course, right? So let's, if you see, if you are inquiring for Power Apps, few will inquire for SQL, few will inquire for Power BI, right? So now, first of all, Power Automate need to know for which course the student is inquiring. So for that, what I am doing here is I'm going to add a step, add a new step. And then let me go on the one control. Let me go to the controls. Here we have the different controls. I will discuss them in the coming classes. I will use one control called switch control, guys. Switch is nothing but what? It is like a case statement. I think all of you people know if condition, if else if, case, right? The same here. Switch is nothing but case statement. Let me select switch control. And now here you need to pass the switch value. You want to check for which column value. Now I want to check for which column value? Course. First of all, we need to know which course the student is inquiring. So I want to check for the course value, course column value. So let me go here, and then you can see there is an option called dynamic content, guys. So I don't recommend to hard code the course name. Let's take Power Apps or Power Automate or Power BI like this. Why? Because we don't know for which course the student is inquiring. Whichever the course the student is inquiring here, that course name I want to take. So for that, what I'll do here is I'll go to the let me go here, go to the dynamic content. There is something called dynamic content. So when I go to the dynamic content here, whenever the item is created, There is a trigger, right? Item created. This trigger will capture the complete details of the item. Which item is created in the SharePoint? It Power Automate will capture the complete details of that item, guys, with the help of this trigger. Now you can see there is an option called what? Course value. There's an option called what? Course. This is the column name in the SharePoint, guys. Course value is the column name in the SharePoint. Let me select this value here. So now what this switch function will do? Whenever the item is created, first it will come to know the course, for which core the student is inquired. Now the course is what here? Power Apps. Right. Okay. So once after knowing the course, next what I want to do regarding that course, go and send an email. So first, now let me write the cases here. Guys. First case. First case is for what? Case one. It is for what? Power Apps. Let's take first case I'm implementing for what? Power Apps. Just I'm renaming it. Now, if the course is equals to what, guys? If the course is equals to Power Apps, then what I need to do? Send an email. So let me go and take an action, send email, guys. I want to add an action called, just to go and search for send an email. Right? Let me take this action, send email. And then it is going to take the Outlook here. It is going to take what? Outlook. And it is asking us to pass the to address. Simple. How will compose the mail? Same here also, to address. Now, let's take I'm entering my email ID here, guys. Now, what happens when I enter my email ID? What happens when I enter my email ID? It will send an email to me. It will send an email to me. That is what my requirement? No, that is not my requirement. To whom I want to send the email? Which student record you created? For that student, I want to send an email, correct? So don't hard code the value, guys. So I want to take the email from the SharePoint. Which student record you created? I want to take that student email ID. So how we can take that student email ID? Again, you can see there is an option called what? Add dynamic content here. So let me go to the dynamic content. Under the dynamic content, whenever the item is created, as we know, it will get the complete details. So I'll take which column now? Email column. So this is the column name in the SharePoint list, guys. This is the column name in the SharePoint list. Let me select that column here. Now what happens? Now what happens here? So now which student record you created, it will take that student email ID, correct? Now let me go here. Let me keep the subject. Let me keep the subject as what? Which course details it is? Power Apps course details. Power Apps course details. Power Apps course details. And let me compose the email, guys. Now go and compose the email. Now to compose the email, so it will take some time. So what I'll do, let me go and take the email body, guys. Let me go and take the email body. Let me go to the emails and let me go and take the email body. Right. I'll just copy this. Just go and copy from here to here. Just copy from here to here. I'll just copy this. And then go to Power Automate, paste it. Just copy paste, guys. So to compose everything, it will take some lot of time for us. And now let me keep here dear aspirants in the bold. Analytics benchmark also in the bold. Regarding for Power Apps and Power Automate course. This is the email, guys. I'm composing one email here, right? Once after composing the email, next my requirement here. Let's say I want to add the attachment also. I want to send the attachment also. So now how to send the attachment? How to send the attachment now? I want to add the attachment, course content. To add the course content. So let me go on the open the OneDrive, guys. So somewhere I want to keep in the course content. Open the OneDrive. I'm opening the OneDrive. So in the OneDrive, I'm having one folder here. Go to My Files. And I'm having one folder here called course content. Already I created one folder here in the OneDrive. Let me go to this folder called course content. And here we have those three course contents, guys, like Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI. This is Power BI course content, Power Apps course content. This is for SQL course content. I want to take the course contents from here. So how we can take it in Power Automate? Simple. Let me go and add an action, guys. I want to add an action called get file content. There is an action called get file content, right? So from where you want to get the file content? I want to get the file content from the OneDrive, not from the SharePoint. Take it from the OneDrive. Get file content from OneDrive. Let me select this option. Now it is going to create a connection with OneDrive, right? And now it is asking us to pass the folder path, where the folder is located. Let me click on this folder icon and then go and click on this right arrow. It will show us all the different folders. Go to which folder? Course content. Go to this folder and select the file. Which file? Power Apps course content. Let me select that, right? Now this action will go and get the course content, guys. So first my requirement, I want to get the course content. Next, send an email. So I'll drag and drop this send email to the first get the file content. Next, go and send an email. Now in this email, let me add the attachment. To add the attachment, just go to the show more advanced options. Keep what? More advanced options. And then here you can see, you can add the attachments here, guys. Attachment name, attachment content. So first pass the attachment content. Attachment content already we are getting with the help of this file content. Go to the limit content. Let me select this value. And let me pass the name, attachment name. Let me keep the attachment name as Power Apps .pdf. So extension is mandatory, guys. Whatever the file you are adding, whatever the attachment you are adding, that attachment extension need to pass. If it is pdf.pdf, if it is a word .doc, if it is an image, so what type of image, JNG, JPG, PNG. So extension is mandatory, right? Fine. Okay, I'm adding the file also, attachment. And next, what's my requirement, Chris? I want to send one email to the trainer also now. Let's take, I want to send an email to the trainer who is teaching Power Apps course. To the trainer, I want to send one notification in the Teams notification. That I want to send one notification in the Teams that a new student is inquiring for Power Apps course. So let me go and send a notification in the Teams. How to send? Let me go and search for Teams here, guys. Or directly search for post a message in the chat or a channel. Let me select this action. I want to post a message in a chat or a channel in the Teams. Let me select this option. And then to whom I want to send the Teams notification? For the trainer. So first of all, let me pass the post as what? Flowbot. I'll go with the Flowbot only. And next, post in. Where you want to post? I want to post through chat. Chat. Let me select this chat with a Flowbot. And next, recipient. To whom you want to send this notification? Power Apps trainer. Let's take Power Apps trainer myself. I'm entering my email ID. This is the Outlook email, guys, right? And next, keep here, hi, that trainer name, let's take, I'm keeping Venki, new student, or new inquiry for Power Apps course, right? And then here, if you want to mention the student name and the student email ID also in the notification, you can mention it. Let's take, I want to mention the student name. So how we can mention the student name? Let's keep it in the bold. Let me go here. So which student record is inserted, that student name I want to take. How to take that student name? Let me go here, go to the dynamic content, take what? Student name. And let me mention the email ID of the student also, email ID. Keep the email in the bold and let me mention here the ID, mail ID. So I'm keeping that student information also in the Teams notification, right? So these are the things I want to take place. If the course is equals to what? Power Apps. Suppose if the course is not equals to Power Apps, let's say if it is Power BI, then what? Let me go and add another one more case. Let me go and add one more case. Now the course equals to what? Power BI. So now let me rename this case. I'll rename it to course is what now? Power BI. So if the course is equals to Power BI, first I want to do what now here also? Get the file content. So go and add an action. First get the file content. First go and get what? File content. I want to get the file content from the OneDrive. Pass the folder path or the file path where the file exists. Let me go to that path and select the file, Power BI course content. And now go and send an email. Go and send one email. Send an email. To whom I want to send the email? To the student. Which student is inquiring for the course? Go to the dynamic content, take what? Student email, right? And next subject, what will the subject? Regarding which course? Power BI course. Okay, just keep the same subject here also. Just change it to Power BI. And next, I'm taking the same body, guys. You can do, I think all of you know how to compose the mail. I'm just copying and pasting the same body, but just I will change the course name here. Just I will change the course name. Power BI course, keep it in the bold. Select the analytics bench meet, keep the analytics bench meet calls in the bold. And let me do some color formatting. Right. So remaining, if you want to change, you can change it, guys. For now, I'm not doing changes. I'm just changing the course name and the, if you want, let me mention the trainer name. Let's take the trainer name is Sunil. Sunil, I'm keeping Sunil is the name, right? And let me go and add the attachment. Let me go to the show advanced options, go to the attachment content, take the file content from the OneDrive for Business folder. And let me pass the name. It is what now? Power BI dot PDF, Power BI course content, right? So now once after sending an email, next my requirement is what? I want to post a message. I want to send one email to the Power BI trainer. Let me go and post a message in the chat or a channel. Let me select this option. And then I want to post as a flow bot. Where I want to post it? In the chat. In the chat with a bot. Now to whom I want to send? Power BI trainer. Who is Power BI trainer? Sunil. Let's check I'm entering the Sunil email ID here. And next, what's the body? Let me take the same body here. Just copy this, paste it. Let me keep the name is equals to Sunil. Hi, Sunil. Thanks for new inquiry for Power BI course. What's the student name and email ID? So when we do copy paste, dynamic content doesn't work, guys. Dynamic content doesn't work. It will throw us an error. So remove the dynamic content and add it again. Let me go and take the student name. Let me go and take the email ID. Right, it is done. And next, if the course is equals to what? There is one more course, SQL. Let me go and add a case one more. So if the course is equals to what? SQL Server. So then what's my requirement? Same. I want to repeat the same actions, guys. So if the course is equals to SQL Server, then first let me go and get the content, course content. So get file content. Use the action called get file content from the OneDrive for Business. Let me pass the file path. Just pass the file path where the file is located in the OneDrive. This is the course content for SQL. And next, go and send an email. Send an email. To whom I want to send the email? To a student. Which student is inquiring for the course, right? Subject, what? First copy and paste the body. I think there is nothing is there. Okay, let me go and take the subject. I'll take the same subject, paste it. Let me just change it to SQL course, SQL Server course, right? And then copy and paste the same content. Let me change the course to what? SQL Server. Just change the name. and then keep the bold. Select this, keep it in the bold. Select the course, keep it in the bold. And let me change it trainer to, let's say, Anil. Anil. If you want to do any modifications, you can do it, guys. I'll go and add the course content. Let me go and take it from the get file content and pass the file name. SQL server dot PDF. Right. Okay. Now it is done, guys. It is done. So now, sorry, one more thing we need to do. I want to post a message, right? Post a message in the chat or a channel. So post in chat to whom I want to send to the SQL trainer. Let's take who is the trainer. Anil is the trainer, right? Anil is the trainer for SQL. And let's take what's the message, same message. Just go and copy this and then paste it here. Let me change the name to Anil. Hi, Anil. A new inquiry for which course? SQL course. And when you do copy paste, dynamic content doesn't work. So let me go and add the dynamic content again. Add the dynamic content again. Let me take the email here. Let me go and take the student name. Right. Now it is done, guys. So this is what the flow I'm creating here. I done with creating the flow. So simple. First, when the flow will run, whenever the item is created, it will run. So now, uh, once the flow run, what it will do? First, it will check the course for which course the student is inquiring. So if the course is equals to Power Apps, if the course is equals to what? Power Apps, then it will go and execute these actions. It will execute this. Otherwise, if the course is equals to Power BI, the course is equals to Power BI, then it will execute these actions. Or if the course is equals to SQL, the course is equal to SQL, then it execute these actions, right? Simple flow. Now let's save it. Save the flow now. And then test. Let it save. It is saving the flow here. Right. Once it is saved, it is telling that it is ready to go. We'll recommend test it. Let me test now whether it is working fine or not. So now let me go here. Let me go to the test. Let me go to where? Test. And then for the first time, we need to test it manually, I guess. From the second time onwards, it will automate, right? So let me go and select manual and then go and click on test. For the second time onwards, it will automate. Now, let me go and create one new record. I will enter my details, guys. I will enter my details so that you'll understand what's the mail I'm getting. Let's take, I'm entering my name, my email ID. Let's take some mobile number. Course, let's take, I'm entering Power Apps course. I'm inquiring education regulars BTech. I'm entering my details. Now click on what? Submit. When I click on submit, the data will submit to the data source. Now see, whenever the data comes here into the SharePoint, automatically it's taking some time. The flow need to run. If you see, the flow run successful, but somehow it is taking some time to show the data here. Okay, let me go and check this. First, let it open. Why it is taking this much time? Right, this is the details. What's the course this student is inquiring? Power Apps course. Now see the flow run successful. Let me check whether the student is receiving the email. And also you can see when I go to the switch, what's the course it is? Switch, when I go to the switch, which course it is? Power Apps course, because the student is inquiring for the Power Apps course. And now let me check whether I received any email that regarding the course, right? Anil. Okay, fine. So Power Apps course details. So dear aspirant, we are from Analytics Benchmark. for leading software training institute for Power Apps and Power Automate course. And you can see the details and you can see the attachment also here, right? So, and let me check now. Okay, it is sending the email to the student. Next, what it need to do with attachment sending an email. Next, it need to do what? It need to send one email to the trainer. Who is the trainer? Myself, right? Let me open my Teams now. Let me open the Teams and let me check whether I received the Teams notification or not. Right now, I'm opening the Teams. You can see. Sorry, this is Anil. Anil doesn't receive the account. It is 25. So who is the trainer now? Venki, right? Let me go here. I'll go and log in with Venki. Let me go to Power Automate first. Let me open the Teams here. So I'm logging as Venki here because Power Apps trainer is Venki I selected. So now see, this is the account. Is the account. Venki Challa is the trainer for Power Apps. I'm logging with that account and you can see we received one email. Sorry, notification. When I go to the workflow here, just now I received it today. Today, just now. Hi, Venki. A new inquiry for Power Apps course. The student name is Venki, and this is the email of that student. Yes or no? Yes, it is received. So, like this, from now, whenever if you go and create one new record in the SharePoint list, when the record will create, whenever you will go and click on the submit button. Whenever you click on submit button here, the data comes into the SharePoint. Whenever the data comes into the SharePoint, automatically your flow will run. Automatically the flow will run. The flow will do what? First, the flow will check the course. For which course the student is inquired. If the course is Power Apps, then it will execute these actions. If the course is Power BI, then it will execute these actions. Or if the course is SQL, it will go and execute these different actions. So this is how we'll go and create one flow in Power Automate, which is used to automate the work, right? So here we use one type of flow called what? Automated. There are two more, scheduled and instant case. So we'll discuss about scheduled flows and instant flows also in our upcoming sessions, right? So as for our requirement, among those three different flows, automated cloud flows will suits better. That's why I'm taking this one. Remaining flows, anyway, we'll go to cover in our upcoming sessions, right? So this is all about what is Power Automate and how we can do the automations in the Power Automate. So not only this case, you can do lot of automations. If you see, when I go to the option called connectors here, it is not, well, let me go here. When I go to the option called connectors, so here Power Automate can connect to almost all the different types of data sources like SharePoint, Oracle, or MySQL, Excel, CSV, and Dataverse, SAP HANA, Outlook, Teams, Gmail, your files in your local system, everything, not one or two. Power Automate will support to connect to the 1400 plus data sources. You can connect to those sources and you can do the automations, whatever you need to do, right? Fine. So slowly you understand, guys. Once if I start our regular class work, what are the different types of automations we can do, which will help us in our real-time work process, we'll discuss all those scenarios, right? So I'll stop here today. So I done with today's class 3, that is introduction to Power Automate. So next one more class is pending. What's the next class? Introduction to Power BI. So what is Power BI? And using Power BI, how to perform the data analysis, we are going to discuss in the next class tomorrow. Tomorrow is class 4, where we'll discuss about data analysis part using Power BI software. And okay, so before go and take the questions, now make a note, guys. Make a note. So as I said that you have the access to attend the 3 free classes. I said that you can attend the 3 free classes. So today is the third free class. We done with all the 3 free classes. By today, we completed the 3 free classes. So people, those who wants to continue in this batch, please contact to my team. And enroll for this batch. people those who got enrolled, so you will be getting the access to attend the classes from tomorrow, right? So people those who want to continue in this batch, contact to my team, enroll case. Anyway, my team will get in touch with you now after completion of this case. If you want to enroll, you can enroll there. Now, people those who got already registered, people those who are already registered. So if few people already registered for the offer we given. So for those people already, my team shared one email to you in yesterday's class, guys, right? In that email, what you received, I shared the details of the license. I shared the details of the license. What license? Regarding this license, Microsoft 365 developer account. Regarding this license, my team shared one email with you guys. You can access the licenses for 6 months. There, I provided the username. I send one email with username, and also the password. And also we mentioned the environment, which environment you need to connect. So just use that. And also here I shared one video. I shared a video also to you. So first go and refer this video, guys. First go and refer this video. In this video, it is a 5 minutes of video. It is how many minutes? Less than 5 minutes, guys. Just refer that video. In this video, clearly I explained how to log into the Microsoft 365 with the help of these usernames and passwords. Once after login, how to come to the environment. Anyway, I discussed in yesterday's class, today's class also I covered, but I'll share a separate video with you how to access that license. Once after logging to the Microsoft 365 with the help of usernames and passwords, go and come to the environment first. Which environment is assigned? Here I assign the environments to you. Which environment is assigned to you? You please go and connect to that particular environment and start doing practice. People who got registered already. So yesterday itself, my team shared the email to you. So if you haven't checked it, please check it and start doing practice immediately, guys. And people, those who haven't registered still, you can reach out to my team, enroll and collect the same details, right? Fine. So I will stop here today and I'll see in the next class on when? Tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll discuss about what? Introduction to Power BI, right? Fine. Okay, I'll stop here now. Now, if you have any questions in today's class, online people, yes, you can please unmute and go ahead now. If you have any questions, online people, you can raise your hands and I'll talk to you one